Now we'll do some more questions based on increasing and decreasing function. Question number 6 is asking us to find the intervals in which the given function is strictly increasing or decreasing. So we can start from here. Y we can find dy by dx. So dy by dx will be 2x plus 2. That can be further written as 2x plus 1. So now we put dy by dx equal to 0, and we are getting now x plus 1 equal to 0, and as a result I am getting x equal to minus 1. So this is x equal to minus 1 is called the critical point, or you can say the tangent at dy by dx will be 0, or tangent or dy by dx equal to 0 at x equal to minus 1. So we can now see the whole interval. This will take minus 1, and this is minus infinity, and this is infinity. So complete number line has been divided into two parts. First part is from minus infinity to minus 1, and second part is from minus infinity to plus infinity. So now we will check whether in this interval we get dy by dx is greater than 0 or less than 0. So for example, we can take any value of this interval minus infinity to minus 1. Let's say this is minus 2. So at x equal to minus 2, your dy by dx will be, which is you can see this is 2, and this is minus 2 plus 1, this is minus 1, and this is going to be minus 2, which is less than 0. So you can see from in this interval minus infinity to minus 1, your dy by dx is coming negative. It means the function is decreasing in the interval minus infinity to minus 1. Now we can take some more example of x equal to 2 we can take. So at x equal to 2, our dy by dx will be 2. This is 2 plus 1, 3 and 6. This is greater than 0. So it means your function is increasing in the interval minus 1 to infinity. So here we can write that f is strictly, we can use this st sign here, strictly increasing in minus infinity to minus 1, and we can here say f is strictly this is strictly decreasing, this is negative sign, so strictly decreasing in minus infinity to minus 1 and strictly increasing in minus 1 to plus infinity. So this way we can find the intervals in which the functions are increasing and decreasing. Now this part you'll be trying yourself, and you have to first find critical point, or you can say the point at which your dy by dx will be 0. Now we'll discuss on one more question of this C part. Y equal to minus 2x cube minus 9x square minus 12x plus 1. So first we find dy by dx. So our dy by dx will be, this is minus 6x square, and this is minus 18x, and this is minus 12. So we can put dy by dx is equal to 0. So we'll get, like, you can take minus 6 common, so this becomes x square plus 3x plus 2, and now we can put it equal to 0. Now you can see that this can be factorized using middle term split method. So this is minus 6, you can write this as x square plus 2x plus x plus 2, this equal to 0. So this is going to be your x plus 2 and x plus 1. So now your two factors x equal to then minus 2, if we put equal to 0, then second this minus 6 will be going down to 0, and then it will become 0, and this second is x equal to minus 1. So we can see that we have got this number line in which this is minus 2, this is minus 1, and we always take this minus infinity to plus infinity from our side, and you can see this function is defined for all real values of x. So actually this domain is real numbers, so you have to always take all the domain, right, the complete domain of the given function. Now we can see that we have 1 2 3. We have three parts of this complete real number line, and now we can see, we can take the example again. Let x equal to, you can take any point, let's say -3, then your dy by dx, you can check the sign of dy by dx, and you see, remember this dy by dx is this, this one is your dy by dx. So we can put this value here, or we can put the value here also, or you can put the value in this form also, this. So it's little better if you put if I write this as -6 bracket x plus 2 and x plus 1. So this is quite easy to check whether this sign will be negative or positive. So first sign is negative, so this is negative. This second bracket, this, if you put x equal to -3, this will be negative. So first this negative is here, and this bracket negative will again come, and in this bracket negative will again come. So you can see your dy by dx is coming to be negative, and negative means your this function is decreasing in this. So here it is negative, and you can use that one rule also, which is the zigzag rule. And according to zigzag rule, that if it is minus, then it will be plus, and then it will again be minus. But that you should know for competitive exams, not for this CBSE exam. You have to show it exactly, and then this is going to be plus, this is sure, this is going to be minus. This we know according to zigzag rule. But now we take any value, let's say x equal to 0. So your dy by dx, now you, from here, if it is negative, we can say that f is strictly decreasing in -infinity to -2. So this is first thing that we have got. Now next, dy by dx, you put x equal to 0, so this is plus, this is plus, and this is going to be minus. And so we'll take a number between -2 and -1, which is better. We take minus x equal to -1.5. So this is x equal to -1.5, and so dy by dx will be, this is negative, this will be positive, and this will be negative. So there is this sign negative, and ultimately this sign will be positive. So it implies that f is strictly increasing in -2 to -1. And now take the last point, you can take this as 0 here, x equal to 0. If you take, then your dy by dx is going to be negative, which implies that f is strictly decreasing in -1 to infinity. So you can now combinely you can say combinely that I'm writing this here, that I'm using different color, that f is strictly decreasing for, you can write the -infinity to -2 union, and -1 to infinity. And you can also say f is strictly increasing in you can say this in, this is -2 to -1. So you can summarize this way, or you can leave the answer this way also. Both the ways are correct. Now this I have done for you, and now this D part you will be trying yourself. Now see question number 7. It is saying, show that y equal to log 1 plus x minus 2x upon 1 2 plus x and x greater than -1 is a increasing function of x throughout its domain. So you first you see what its domain. Its domain is from -1 to infinity. So this is very important to observe, and this is given by this way. So now first we start from, as usual we are doing, we will find dy by dx. So dy by dx will be 1 upon 1 plus x, and this you can apply the quotient rule. According to this, 2 plus x whole square, 2 plus x, 2 I have taken out, and this will be 1. Then you take x, and the derivative of 2 plus x will be 1. So after simplifying, you are getting 1 plus x, this is -2. You can simplify this, x will get cancel x, and this is 2, and this is 2 plus x whole square. Now you can take LCM, this is 2 plus x whole square, and this is 1 plus x. You take LCM, this 2 plus x whole square, and this is 4. This is 1 plus x. So simplify this further. This is 4 plus x square plus 4x minus 4 minus 4x, and this is 2 plus x whole square, and this is 1 plus x. So you can see this and these two terms have got cancelled, and so it is x square upon 2 plus x whole square and 1 plus x. Now after finding this dy by dx in factors form, you can see this numerator is always positive because this is square, and denominator is always, this term is always positive because it is a square. So sign of dy by dx, it will be decided by this factor only, 1 plus x. So we'll draw the number line. This is our number line. You can see the domain is from -1 to infinity, and we have got one another. If we substitute this equal to 0, we will put dy by dx equal to 0. So you put dy by dx equal to 0, so you are going to get that x square, this equal to 0, and this is 2 plus x square, this is 1 plus x, and this will get cross multiplication, and we'll get this x square is equal to 0. So it means that x equal to 0 is one another critical point. So we can take example again at x equal to minus 0.5. So if I take x equal to minus 0.5, you can put the value in dy by dx. So your dy by dx will be, so this is positive, this is positive, so only this factor will be deciding whether this will be positive or negative. So 1 plus minus 0.5, this is going to be positive. So this is positive, it means, it implies that f is strictly increasing in -1 to 0. Now you can take another point at x equal to, you can take this as 1 at x equal to 1. So your dy by dx is, this is positive, this is positive, 1 plus x will also be positive. So this is again going to be positive. So implies that f is strictly increasing in 0 to infinity. So you can see that throughout its domain, this function is increasing. So you can write in one statement, one line, that fx is strictly increasing in its domain, and you can see that domain is -1 to infinity. So this way you can see how we have got the solution of this question. Now we'll discuss this question number 9, and in this prove that y equal to 4 sin theta 2 plus cos theta minus theta is increasing function of theta in 0 to pi by 2. So we'll find the dy by d theta, because this function is in theta. So dy by d theta, you can apply this quotient rule. So this is 2 plus cos theta whole square, and this is then you can say 2 plus cos theta, and derivative of 4 sin theta will be 4 cos theta, and minus 4 sin theta, and derivative of 2 plus cos theta will be minus sin theta, and theta's derivative is 1. So we can simplify this, and after simplification we'll see what comes. This is 8 cos theta, and this is 4 cos square theta. You can apply this. This is plus 4 sin square theta, and take LCM. So this will become 2 plus cos theta whole square, and this is 2 plus cos theta as the LCM. So now we open this bracket. This is 8 cos theta, and this is 4 cos square theta, and this sin square, you can write that sin square as 1 minus cos square. So after writing this as 1 minus cos square, it will become 4. This you can write 1 minus cos square theta, and you can open this bracket. This is 4 and cos square theta, and this is 4 cos theta. So we have found the differentiation, and now this is 2 plus cos theta whole square. Now we open this. This is 8 cos theta, and this is 4 cos square theta, and this is 4 minus 4 cos square theta minus 4 minus cos square theta minus 4 cos theta, and this is your 2 plus cos theta whole square. So your 4 this got cancelled, your 4 cos square theta got cancelled, and this is your cos square theta, and this is, so after simplifying this you are going to get 4 cos theta minus cos square theta, and this is 2 plus cos theta whole square, which you can further simplify. You can take cos theta common, and in the bracket then 4 minus cos theta, and this is 2 plus cos theta whole square. Now you can see your cos, this is square term, so your denominator is not going to be negative for any value of theta, and you can see, but and only the deciding factor is cos theta, and you also know your that cos theta is from -1 to 1. So if we apply this domain range of this cos theta, then this bracket is always positive, and this cos theta is also is going to decide whether this dy by d theta will be greater than 0 or less than 0. So you can see that cos theta, the interval is given to you 0 to pi by 2. So cos theta is always positive. So this is you can write here, cos theta is always positive for theta belongs to 0 to pi by 2. So we can use this fact, and we can simply now say that dy by dx is always greater than 0. So it means you can say that fx is strictly increasing in its domain, and domain, you can see domain is 0 to pi by 2. So you can directly state that dy by dx sign, if you can decide, there is no need to put always dy by d theta equal to 0. You can get it this very simply also. This is question number 11. Show that fx equal to x square minus x plus 1 is neither strictly increasing nor strictly decreasing in -1 to 1 interval. So we'll simply find f dash x. So this is, or you can say this is dy by dx, and this is going to be 2x minus 1, and after this we'll put dy by dx equal to 0, which gives you it further implies that 2x minus 1 equal to 0. So you are going to get x equal to 1 by 2. So your number line, the domain, you can see this domain of this function is -infinity to -infinity, because there is no value of x which can make this function not defined. It means the domain of this function is -infinity to +infinity, and this is your 1 by 2. Now we will take some points of this base. You can take at x equal to what point we can take, it's up to us. We can take 1, or this 0 we can take. So let x equal to 0. So your dy by dx, you can see it's going to be -1, which is negative. It means that f is strictly decreasing in -infinity to 0. And we can take, now here you can take x equal to 1. So at x equal to 1, dy by dx is going to be 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1, this is going to 1, which is positive. It implies f is strictly increasing in 1 by 2 to infinity. So you can see within its domain, you can see domain is real number. So in its domain, I am writing here domain is R. So in its domain, sometimes the derivative is becoming negative, and derivative sometimes it's becoming positive. So this is, you can say that within that -infinity to infinity, which is the domain, this sign of dy by dx is changing from one negative sign to positive sign. So you can simply now say that f is neither increasing nor decreasing. Now question number 12. Which of the following functions are decreasing on 0 to pi by 2? So part A, we take this y equal to cos x. So we find dy by dx. So your dy by dx is going to be sin x, and you can see that sin x is positive greater than 0 for all x belongs to 0 to. So this sin x is always greater than 0 for all x belongs to 0 से 0 to pi by 2. It implies your fx is strictly increasing in 0 to pi by 2. So now you see part B. Part B is y equal to cos 2x. We can now, this is minus sine x. So now we see this is cos minus sine x. Sine x is then it will be less than 0. So for all x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, and it means that your this function is decreasing in 0 to pi by 2. Now take y equal to cos 2x. So dy by dx will be minus 2 sine 2x. Now you see your x is from 0 to pi by 2. Now if we multiply by 2 both sides, then it be 2x and this will be pi. Now you can see that 0 to now this angle 2x is from 0 to pi, and you know that in first and second quadrant your sign is always positive, but this is minus 2. It means this will be negative for all x belongs to 0 to pi by 2. So it implies that f is strictly decreasing in 0 to pi by 2. Now similarly you can see for cos 3x also. This way you have to check here that cos 3x, if x is from 0 to pi by 2, then this 3x will be this 3 pi by 2, means 270. So that time your sign is increasing as well as decreasing in 0 to 3 pi by 2. So cos 3x is going to be neither increasing nor decreasing function in 0 to pi by 2. So I'm discussing now this d part, which is y equal to now 10x. So you can find dy by dx. So this is going to be sec square x, and you know this is square, so this is always positive for all x belongs to 0 to pi by 2. So it implies that f is strictly increasing in 0 to pi by 2. So we can now summarize that your a part y equal to cos x and your b part y equal to cos 2x is strictly decreasing, and cos 3x is neither decreasing nor increasing, and fourth one is always strictly increasing. So this is how you can think of these parts. Now we'll discuss this question 16. Prove that fx equal to log sin x is increasing on 0 to pi by 2 and decreasing on pi by 2 to pi. You can see that log sin x is always positive in both the intervals 0 to pi by 2 and pi by 2 to pi. So it means this function is well defined. Now we'll find dy by dx, or you can say f dash x also. So this will be log sin x. This is sin x, and derivative of sin x is cos x, and this is going to be cot x. And you know that cot x is now dy by dx equal to cot x is always positive for all x belongs to 0 to pi by 2. So it implies your f is strictly increasing in 0 to pi by 2, and now you can again see dy by dx equal to cot x is always negative for all x belong pi by 2 to pi. So it implies that f is strictly decreasing in pi by 2 to pi, because cot is negative in second quadrant. So according to quadrant and according to the definition of trigonometric functions, we can decide easily whether these functions, where they are increasing and where they are decreasing. Now consider this question number 18. Prove that function fx equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 100 is increasing in R. So we'll find derivative f dash x. This will be 3x square minus 6x plus 3. 3 you may take common, then it becomes x square minus 2x plus 1, and that you can further write 3, this is x minus 1 whole square. So you can see that your sin f dash x is greater than 0 for all x belong to R except x equal to 1, because at x equal to 1 this is going to be 0. So you can say this is greater than equal to 0 for all x belongs to R. and you can say that f is increasing function in R. This time we are not saying that fx is strictly increasing, because you can see that there is sign greater than equal to 0. So for that reason we can say this is fx is just simply a increasing function.